all hands on deck for Ohio State? Well, maybe. We'll see. It's questionable, but Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate are both not out, which is a step in the right direction for Ohio State as they get ready. We're just outside the Big House. It is Saturday. It is the game, and these are the pregame keys. He's Jeremy Birmingham. I am Austin Ward for 97.1 The Fan and 10 TV. It's good news. It is not definite news.
It's news. It's different, as you said. It is a step in the right direction. It is a little bit of I don't know exactly what terms they're required to use on these injury reports in college football. I don't know if you have different definitions. Is there doubtful, questionable? I'm not sure. The point is these guys have been hurt. They've been banged up. They've been working to get through it. They're going to try to play if they can play. That's what questionable means. We're going to see them both in warm-ups, I would bet, which will be a serious step in the right direction for Carnell Tate, who hasn't even done that in the last 2 weeks. So that's the best we can hope for if you're an Ohio State fan, is to say, give us a shot. And so they're going to give it a shot.
Yeah, the last time that Jeremiah Smith was listed as questionable, he played. Now, that was on a snap count, but he got a thumbs up that he could play, so he did. I would expect that to be the same case today. And as we mentioned throughout this week, Carnell Tate's health and that muscle issue has been improving. You're never 100% certain at this time of year if you're going to re-injure something. It is cold. There's no snow here yet. It might get here late in the fourth quarter or in the second half of this game. We'll see, but this is about what you would expect. So it's probably not going to feel great for anybody out there, but Ohio State, looking to do whatever it can offensively, will need those two weapons back. I think it's important that they get at least one of them in this game, and I feel pretty confident that they will.
I agree. I mean, I think, but a lot of today's game is going to come down to which team. Both teams are dealing with significant injuries. Let's be clear, Justice Haynes out for Michigan, as he has been, questionable around Max Bredesen,
Yep.
Questionable with Jordan Marshall and his shoulder. Everyone's got things. It's November 30th or 29th or whatever day it is. You know that there's going to be people who are dinged up. It's about which team handles that better, which team can work around the issues that the injury presents them, and then see who is able to best put forward their normal offense, I think, because with the weather right now, it's 24, 25 degrees, but it's not windy at all. It's actually a temperate 24, 25.
You would take this if you get it for the whole game.
But we're not going to get it for the whole game. So the key for Ohio State, to me, is to make sure that you don't let this be a game going into the fourth quarter. And I know that maybe sounds folly considering the nature of this rivalry and how good this Michigan team is as the number 15 team in the country. But you really need a 10-point or more lead heading into the fourth quarter if you're Ohio State today, I think.
Yeah, and then you would see it through to the finish line. One other update there to the availability report at wide receiver, Quincy Porter is out again. So nothing listed there for Mylan Graham or Bryson Rogers. Nothing there for Brandon Ennis. I know that there was at least some conversation. Why wasn't he among the captains who talked after practice on Wednesday? I think that was primarily, first and foremost, to shield him from questions about Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. So nothing listed for him, as he's been banged up the last couple of weeks and helping carry the load for the passing attack without Jeremiah and Carnell. So this is a team that really, when you look at it, Berm, if you show up, when you show up on November 29th in the Big House and you have Big Ten weather and rivalry stakes in a hard-hitting game, Ohio State is showing up about as healthy as it possibly could be. And I know that sounds a little bit folly if there's any sort of questionable nature with Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, two superstars. But if you're looking at what Ohio State has on the offensive line, Logan George is out on the defensive line, but he's missed almost all of this season. You have all the starters in place there. You have both your star linebackers, your top three linebackers all healthy. The secondary is all healthy. Julian Sayin, nothing with that ankle for the last couple of weeks after he aggravated that against UCLA. The backfield is good to go. This is a healthy team, and it was all by design. Nothing is ever guaranteed with anyone's health, but Ryan Day and managing reps and the way that they've gone through the load management of this season was to get to this building today with the kind of health that they have. I'd say mission accomplished. Now, what is that going to mean once you get to noon? We'll find out.
Because ultimately, for Ohio State, I think the biggest piece, the thing that had to get to this building in the best health and then follow through with it, is Ryan Day's mindset about this game. I mean, let's be clear. It was obvious a year ago that at some point Michigan got into his head again, and the offense changed. Things changed for Ohio State. We've seen this approach from him in the last couple of years evolve to this game. We thought last year he was looser and more relaxed. This year, even more so than a year ago. So ultimately, to me, Ohio State is a better team top to bottom than Michigan. I'm not sure, even at running back, which is an area where Michigan feels confident or that maybe they have the superior run game. I don't think they do talent-wise. I mean, I think that it's just part of the way the offense is set up. Ultimately, this is about Ryan Day and how this team handles the mental side of this rivalry after losing 4 games in a row to a team that you feel like you were better than. So now you have to figure out how to get here in all the conversation about prepare the same. Now you have to play it the same and understand that there's going to be some extra emotion for sure. Try not to let that get in your head, but I
think you play with emotion. You don't
right.
let emotion play with
That's
you.
exactly right. And they've played with emotion all year, and it's been since November 30th a year ago when emotion played with them last.
Yeah, that's
or negative emotion, I guess.
That is the next step, right? If we've said every single day of this week, well, you did this to make it the same as every other week. You did Tuesday availability. You did Wednesday availability. You moved the band up. All those things were designed to keep that routine, the routine for Ohio State. Okay, well, make your routine on Saturday look the same as well. I think that's the biggest question. And that's why there's part of me that thinks there's this notion that, all right, if Ohio State is the superior team and Ryan Day wants to send a message, could this be a game where he looks to run up the score and finally get those style points? I don't think so, because that's not the way he's coached the other 11 games.
It's just not necessary. I mean, sure, it'd feel good, it'd be cathartic, but it's not what you have to do in this game. You need to get out of here with a 1-point win and move on to face Indiana in the Big Ten championship game next Saturday in Indianapolis, because as Ryan Day said on Tuesday, like, this is goal number 1. We're 3 months into the season, and goal number 1 is finally here. So the goal was not to be undefeated when you got here. The goal is to be undefeated when you leave here. And Ohio State has the tools to do that. Now they just have to figure out if they can walk into it. Spencer Holbrook on Letterman Row on Friday had made a comment that he feels like the key is Ohio State has to play Ohio State's game, and that sounds cliche and generic, but if they play Michigan's game, then all of a sudden you're on your back foot. And this is not a team that's been on its back foot all year. So you shouldn't expect them to do anything different. But the circumstances of this game, as we all know, like, they are different.
Now that you're here, the game is here, how are you feeling? Is there anything that has you on alert for Ohio State allowing that narrow path to expand for the Wolverines?
I've had this sense for the last day that I think Michigan's going to throw the ball more today than maybe we anticipate, and so it'll be interesting to see how Bryce Underwood handles that and how the Buckeye defense adjusts quickly, because I get a sense that Michigan sees this similar to Ohio State in that there's this looming threat of the weather starting around 3 o'clock, and if you get to that point, like, you need to be able to say this game's over at that point. So I think Michigan's going to throw the ball a little bit more. I think they're going to put more on Bryce Underwood's plate than maybe he's been asked to do, because ultimately we always talk about it from the Ohio State perspective. This is where legends are born, but, like, you're a true freshman quarterback starting your first game against Ohio State in the Big House. I think they're going to ask him to do some stuff. So I'm very, very interested to see what Matt Patricia has up his sleeve for Bryce Underwood. But ultimately, don't shoot yourselves in the foot. If Ohio State can come out here and avoid making critical errors, stupid penalties, the G. Scott penalties, the dumb things they've done in the last 4 years in this game, I think that they will win. But, it's about teeing it up.
I do believe this, though. If the weather forecast changes, if it moves up, if the snow rolls in before 3 o'clock, we always view this through this prism of Ohio State. How would this impact their offense? What would they have to do? Could you go to a run quarterback package with Lincoln Kienholz? How would Julian Sand from California handle the snow and the cold and the wind? If it's like this, I mean, he's not going to have any issue with that, bar none. But I truly believe if it does get worse, that becomes a bigger problem for Michigan. I think they're a lot more limited offensively. I'm not saying that to give you another pit in your stomach, but if they're banged up at running back, which they are, if they have a true freshman at quarterback, which they do, and you are facing an Ohio State defense that just has aliens everywhere and a mad scientist, moving those pieces around, I think that bodes incredibly poorly for the Wolverines. I think, to your point, if you wanted Bryce Underwood, if Sharon Moore wants Bryce Underwood to throw the football and do RPO stuff and try and attack Matt Patricia's defense, you would want it to stay like this. I think the second it gets any worse, that would not be a positive welcome development for Michigan. And I think Ohio State would accept it.
Yeah, for me, it comes down to this. And I said earlier, you get to the fourth quarter, but I think you almost have to have this game over at halftime, because if you're from the Midwest, you know how weather goes. Like, it's going to get here earlier than you think, or it's not going to get here at all. So I know the Buckeyes will be having people watching it, but the reality is you need to come out and be very aggressive from the jump if you're Ohio State. This is an opportunity. Think back to December 21st in Ohio Stadium last year against Tennessee, the way the Buckeyes came out in that game offensively, the way they came out in the Rose Bowl against Oregon a week later. Like, there's
Hair on fire.
There's no reason to come out of the gate here and tiptoe around. Like, this is Ohio State, Michigan. This is the greatest rivalry in sports. It's for a playoff berth for Michigan. It's for a Big Ten championship game berth for Ohio State that they haven't been in since 2020. It's time to go.
Make sure that gas tank is full. Make sure the nitrous tank is connected, and make sure you are buckled up by noon. It is here, the game. It is a gorgeous morning, as much as you could ask for this rivalry. Excited to get inside, excited to cover it, and once it's done, we'll of course have snap judgments in the notebook afterwards to break it all down. It is the last week of the regular season. As Berm said, there are gold pants on the line. There is a ticket to Indianapolis on the line for Ohio State, and they're looking to end this losing streak in the game. Still feel that's going to happen today?
I do.
All right, 2 bold predictions. Ohio State is going to win, and we'll talk to you when it's over. Enjoy this game. Enjoy this afternoon. And thanks for joining us on the Pregame Keys. He's Berm. I'm Austin Ward. We'll talk to you afterwards. See ya.